I'm recording the meeting today so that I just have to say that just so that everybody knows that they are being recorded and that those have been posted, and that if you need to have makeups in the future, all of our Zoom Rotary meetings are being recorded. So just so you know that. We do have a guest today, Brian Ruiz. Brian, if you would wave to everybody, prospective member, Gary's guest today, and welcome, Brian. Hope you enjoy our club.
I appreciate it.
And Brian, I'm sorry, what do you do in the community? I know your office is right across the street from mine, but which office is it? I don't even, is it the lawyer?
I'm a farmer's insurance agent.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yep.
Got it. Well, welcome to the club. And
Thank you.
I hope you enjoy yourself today. We certainly are going to enjoy having you. We have Mayor Gailey on with a Rotarian in training, also a guest. Hi, Mayor Gailey. And
hey,
I keep forgetting.
Good morning, Ken.
Good morning. and I always forget your son's name. What's his name?
Weston Pete.
Weston. That's right. Hi, Weston. Look at, oh, he is cute. I could sit here and look at him all day. That's awesome. We don't have any birthdays coming up real soon until March, and we do have one spouse birthday. And Sam, did you do it? Did you get Milt something? You're muted.
You're muted, Sam.
Sam, we can't hear you.
Oh, I hate the mute button. Yes, and I'm taking him to his birthday dinner tomorrow at Outback. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh, little Aussie, oi, oi, oi. Rotary anniversary. Larry Saint had his Rotary anniversary yesterday. Larry has been with Rotary 13 years as of yesterday, the 18th. Way to go, Larry. Okay, we'll move on to reports. Secretary's report, Gary.
Just a reminder, the next board meeting is March the 11th at 5:30. And the only other thing, and I'm sure that Ron has gotten the information on this, but Dennis Boyd, District 5050 membership chair, has a best membership meeting coming up on Wednesday the 24th from 7 to 8 p.m. on Zoom. I've been in communications with Dennis on other things regarding membership, looking for alternative e-club type information that I can share with Ron and Keith as we go forward. That's it.
Thanks, Gary. Treasury's report, Chris.
Yeah, there's really nothing new that to report. We are getting happy dollars in all the time, and there's a few dues that are still out there that are coming in. So we really appreciate that. The community appreciates that, and that's it.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. My report, I don't really have anything to report. Nothing's happening in my life at all. There is the Arlington Club is having a blood drive on the 8th. While we're going, I'll put that in the chat. I do have the information for that, and I had mentioned that a couple weeks ago, and just wanted to make sure that if anybody wanted to do that, they have the opportunity to do that. So I know it's at Stillaguamish Park, and it's March 8th. And it's at the community club at the park. So I'll put that in the chat a little bit later. That's the only thing that I have. Is Lori on? Yes, she is. Lori, is there a past president's report?
Let's see, what's the past president report? Life is good. The snow is gone, and we're looking forward to another great week.
Did you guys notice how light it was this morning when you got up? That's a sign we're turning the corner. I am hopeful.
10.5 hours of daylight.
Yep. And when I went home last night, it was still light out and it was past 5 o'clock. I was impressed. It's amazing. Spring comes every year. Let's see, is Rochelle here, President-elect's report?
I think so.
All right. Committee reports, club services, Keith. What did you have for breakfast, Keith? I know I saw him. No? No, he's not. Oh, there he is. Keith?
Probably that stupid mute button.
Keeps going on and off. I'm guessing. Oh, no, there he is. Well, he's got mute. Yeah, he's got his camera and his muting button off. And now I'm getting a text from him.
Welcome to a teacher's life, people.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, well, we'll circle back around to Keith. Community services, Eileen.
Yes, so we have our upcoming street cleanup from the high school to Highway 92. I'll be sending out a thingy for the details on Club Runner today. And if anybody knows of anybody within the community that needs help or services, please reach out and let me know. I know it's still a little weird with COVID, but we have some able-bodied people and we need to start getting that on the calendar. Oh, and Tracy said that they're going to try and deliver food tonight to Cocoon House. So that is what I have.
Yeah, so apparently, so the plan was last Saturday, and of course, it was snowing to beat the band, and so she was hoping that they might have other plans, and they ended up getting other plans for dinner, so it all worked out, so that's good. Thanks, Eileen. Where are we here? Ron, membership.
Yeah, thanks, Ken. Glad to see Brian here. Welcome, Brian. And I see Kyle. I'm not sure if I see Connor on the screen.
Yeah, he's
Connor's
there.
here.
Okay, I know you guys have your classification talk, which might be the fastest classification talk in Rotary history from being inducted into the club. So thanks for stepping up and doing that. And Gary, yes, I got that membership meeting log on, and I'm all registered for that.
Good.
And that's my report.
Thank you, Ron. Tracy's not here for international services, but she asked me to pass on that IPA next board meeting is Thursday, February 25th. She won't be able to go, so she was wondering if either Kristen or Angie would want to go. I know Kristen's on. I don't know if Angie's on. Kristen, are you interested?
I can do it.
You can do it?
Sure.
Is that at the farmhouse up in Burlington?
Connor.
In
LaConner.
LaConner, but virtually. It's been virtual, so.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes it easier. Okay. Well, thank you. I'll email her and let her know that you're going to go to that. I appreciate that. Interact, Kristen, go ahead.
Okay, so yes, we are having a roadside cleanup on March 20th, and we'd love to see you guys there. It should go pretty fast if a lot of you come along with our Interact members. And then kind of piggybacking on that, Eileen asking for other activities, you know, we've been working with Ashley Point, and we were trying to figure out, again, things to do with Ashley Point. We had a really sweet interchange with our pen pals, so that was very nice. And one of the pen pals, one of the Interact students is in German, and her pen pal had lived in Germany, so it was very nice to have that connection. So that was very cool. So I was talking with Pamela at Ashley Point, and we're thinking of doing some sort of drive for Ashley Point. It might be something like puzzle books, word searches, something like that. Or she just said like notepads and paper because people need to write things down. So we will connect with you guys about that. Since Interact through ASB cannot do any drives, we need to connect with Rotary. So it'll be officially a Rotary Drive that Interact is hosting. So that's what we got.
Thanks, Kristen. Appreciate that. Vocational, Lance.
So we're just about ready to post the final application so students can start applying for the scholarships. Thanks very much for the vocational committee who's given a lot of input on what those forms look like, and Angie for her work on trying to get the electronic submission to work. So I think we're in line to rock and roll on that. So thanks very much.
Thanks, Lance. I don't think Rochelle's here for public relations. Anything going on in foundation, Jim?
No, everything's looking good. It's obviously it's not as light here as it is where you guys are. I'm sitting outside on the beach underneath a lamppost. We have a full house at our place, so this is where I got to hang out. But everything's good foundation wise.
I hope they don't think you're homeless, Jim. And
No, I mean I got a little stand here with my iPad, and I mean, you know, I look legit.
Are the peacocks out walking around?
They're up at the condo. Yeah, they are noisy. It's going to be mating season almost because they are getting noisy. So.
Thanks, Jim. We all feel bad for you having to be in Hawaii to join us on the meeting.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, tough duty. Okay. Any other announcements, or did I forget anybody this time? Okay. Well, I'm going to turn this over to our stand-in Sergeant at Arms, Mr. Kevin O'Brien. Kevin, take it away.
Well, good morning, everybody.
Morning. Good morning,
Okay,
Mr.
let's
Sergeant
try
at
that
Arms.
again.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Mr.
Morning.
Sergeant.
Morning.
Good morning.
My
All
Irish
right, let's
brother.
everybody stand up. Stand up.
Good morning.
Oh, God.
Stand up. Here we go. All right.
Empty your
We got to
pocket.
work it out a little bit. Move those arms around. Let's do some arm circles. Okay. There you go. Take deep breaths. Deep breaths. Get ready to get fined. All right. Jack lines. Okay. Jack lanes. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Mr. Superintendent, that means you too. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 6 and okay. Be seated, everybody. Nice job. Nice job. Good. So I'm really happy to be here this morning to find you all.
Hey, Kevin, I got a
power
question.
coursing through my veins as the stand-in Sergeant at Arms is unbelievable. So I'm going to start off with a hearty congratulations. And if you are a future superintendent of Lake Stevens School District, you need to pay $5. $5. Congratulations, Ken.
There, it's done.
Congratulations. We're just tickled for you.
That was 5 per swipe, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If let's see, are there any mayors or mayors emeritus in here? Oh, I think so. If you've served as a mayor of Lake Stevens or you're a current mayor of Lake Stevens, I'm sorry, $5. Bam! All right. If you're a police chief or have ever served as a police chief in Rifle, Colorado or Lake Stevens, bam, $5. All right. If you carry a gun for your job, bam, $5. All right, here we go. This is a doozy. If you served as an airborne ranger, I see you, Jim. If you served as an airborne ranger, $5.
Just remember, I do your evaluation.
All right, I'm about to lose my job. If you're a fire commissioner or ever served as one, $5.
Man, you're going to get nailed on that next eval, let me tell you.
Hopefully he gets the fire chief soon.
If you're an engineer Dean, where's Dean? Where's the engineers? There we are. If you're an engineer, $5. Okay. Hey, anybody here wearing shorts? If you're wearing shorts, $5. Shorts. All right. Okay. Okay. Hold up your face masks. Who's got a face mask here? Hold it up. I'm gonna be the judge. Whoever has the coolest face mask, everybody else has to pay $1. Let's see. Let me see here. Face masks. I'm not seeing lots of face masks. Gary O'Reilly, was that a Mariners face mask?
It is.
Yep. Okay, everybody has to pay $1 because Gary's got a cool mask. Let's see. All right.
Ooh,
So, does anybody have a mug?
Got a mug.
Everybody's got a
I guess
mug.
it's a coffee cup, but
All right. If you have coffee in your mug, you don't have to pay. If you don't have a mug or you have something other than coffee in it, that's $1. Cheers.
And that counts for the Baileys that Jim Hagan has in his cup.
Jim, do you have Baileys in your cup today?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, you're
Yes,
exempt.
I do.
You're exempt. You're a model citizen. Rotarian.
An Irish model citizen.
Okay. Kendra, I need your help with something. Would you please be the judge this morning on who has the coolest background? Who's got the coolest background?
Okay, let's see. Well, wait, can it be an authentic background or it's about the fake backgrounds? Like,
oh, well, so so either way is great. Whatever you think.
okay, let me look. I'm on my phone, so I have to like scroll through. I can't see everyone's screen.
Kendra, I'd choose John Dyer as the chief of police in case you ever need him.
I don't know, Gary, your background's like majestic.
I know, but that's cheating. He spoke, so he showed up big on the screen.
No, I'm scrolling through. Hold on, I'll see everyone.
Hey, working the
Dean's pretty
system.
good too. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm going to, hold on. My dog has an opinion, I suppose. Okay, I'll go with Dean's Hawaiian background.
Hey, all right. Okay, everybody pay $1 for Dean's Hawaiian background.
Thank you, Kendra. I will send you the money separately. So.
All right, if you have a fake background, you owe $1.
This is an expensive meeting to attend today.
All right, so we'll unless anybody wants to find themselves some more, we'll move on to happy bucks. Anybody have some happy bucks?
I have no more money left.
I'll start out with the.
I got happy dollars.
Happy $5 for Ken. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
I got a happy buck. I went out for a walk yesterday and I saw something I haven't seen for a very long time. There was a school bus ahead of me and it pulled over and stopped and a whole bunch of little kids ran off the school bus. And I was made me so happy to see all those little kids in the school bus, which meant that some kids are back to school. That's really terrific. So that's worth $5 happy bucks.
I like that. I like that. I'm gonna add to that. We got one of our kids gonna go back and our pipes and drums band has started up actual in-person real practice again. So I'll be leaving here pretty soon for that.
Hey, cool.
$5 happy bucks.
Okay,
I have a happy $10. Earlier this week, I decided to take Lorna on a drive through memory lane. So we loaded into the Tesla and we took off and we drove back to our old stamping grounds. We drove by our old house and it looked like it was still in good repair, but a lot smaller than I remembered. And we visited several areas that were memories for us. and it was wonderful. And we topped it all off by going to one of our favorite restaurants, and they fed us lunch inside. So we had an inside lunch. And the neat thing was that we drove probably 50 miles on the Tesla and didn't add any pollutants to the earth. So that's my $10 for today. Good memory.
I'll do $10, 5 for Ken, and 5 for the hope that by Tuesday I get my second vaccine shot. Although it's probably doubtful with the deliveries, but I'm hoping.
Mr. President, point of order. Is it appropriate to fine the finer for continuing to use his wife's Zoom account?
Yes.
Way to go.
There is precedent for this.
Absolutely.
$5.
There's precedent for this. I used to fine Dave all the time for transgressions that he would make during his duties as sergeant at arms. So absolutely, you can fine the finer.
Good one.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
You can blow the whistle on the whistleblower.
Yes, you may. $5.
This
Let
isn't
no
working
one
out
tell
so
him how to
well.
change the name.
Well, I got a happy buck. I'll put $10 in. I just found out that a project that I was design manager on for the State Department of Transportation, US 101 over on Olympic Peninsula near Shelton, received the ACEC award for most innovative design for environmental. So
Nice.
that's cool. Yeah.
That's great.
So yeah, it's over by Shelton. We did it for WashDOT, and it was a new interchange or improved interchange and a new culvert fish passage stream betterment. So they got the most innovative design. So cool.
So if we do a drive-by, will we see your name on a plaque?
Yeah, I'm gonna post that. Sure, yeah. I'll put some graffiti painting of my name.
Great, Ken.
I've got a happy 10, 5 for you, Ken. Great job again. And 5 for yesterday. We passed a bill out of the state Senate eliminating sub-minimum wage for people with disabilities. So it's got to make it through the House and the governor's signature, but that was a huge step.
That's great.
Good job.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
So I have a question. Was there a separate minimum wage for people with disabilities?
There was. It was a historical 40-year ago law that you could pay people with disabilities less than minimum wage. So long overdue to be repealed.
Oh, yeah.
So I have a happy 5 for Ken. Congratulations on that. And another 5 for, it seems like we're bubbling up out of the pandemic thing and more shots are happening and things of that sort. So things are sort of kind of getting back to normal, and that is great.
I've got 5 happy bucks. So yeah, to John's point, we did have our kindergarten through second graders who chose to be back at school, which is about 80% of our group, K2, come back to schools, to our schools, half in the morning, half in the afternoon. So we have arrival and dismissal twice a day for students, kindergarten through second grade. It's gone pretty smooth. I went to an elementary school and helped with all the processes and procedures that students have to go through and all the guidance that teachers lend. And it's just so exciting. Even with the masks on, you can see little children's eyes smiling. It's really amazing and uplifting and reminds you of what we're really here for. And that's been very gratifying. Grades 3 through 5 start March 1st, and then we're hoping to bring back, pending the outcome of our work with our labor union partners, hoping to bring back middle school and upper grade levels beginning middle of March. High school and Cavallero would be probably after April 1st or more closer to April 12th. But we've got a timeline and we're working on it. And I can tell you it's not easy, but we're gonna work pretty hard to get kids back into school.
Hey, Ken, this is Jim. I've got 10 happy bucks, 5, Ken, for you for your new position. And 5 happy dollars for my non-position. I have decided that I'm going to be professionally retiring. So I'm joining the ranks of a lot of people on this call as a retiree.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Jim.
Thanks.
Well deserved, Jim.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Long soul searching, and life is too precious. And I've decided that with things that are going on in life and in family, it's time to pay more attention to that. So yeah, I'm happy with my decision.
Congrats.
Congratulations, Jim. That's great. Okay.
5 for Ken achieving that goal. I know that was something you aspired to, so congratulations there. And in addition to all those kids going back to school, the preschoolers are going back full-time for them. That's half days, 4 days a week. So we're excited to get them back in. And a lot of my coworkers are excited to be back working more than the little bit they have been the last few months. So
yeah,
we're excited to get all those kids back into class.
It's awesome.
I want to do 5, Ken, for you. Really, congratulations. And then I want to do 5 for Kristen Odegaard and her background.
Yeah.
Kristen, I love your background.
Who is that guy hanging on the wall?
You didn't approve of my choice?
No, I approved. I approved. I just want to throw some bones to Kristen.
I'm a little offended, Nancy. All right.
Okay, Kendra, I'm with your decision. I just look at Kristen's background, and it looks like there's like tequila bottles right next to her under the table.
Yeah. That is a pretty good one.
It just looks like
Nacho
fun.
Libre.
Is she really in the classroom?
Is it the truth?
Yeah. Is it the truth?
Certainly fair.
Well, I have 5 happy bucks. My middle brother just proposed to his girlfriend this last week, and they asked me to officiate their wedding, and which is like going to be very small, and then they'll live stream it. But they're like super nerdy, so it will be like littered with Lord of the Rings and Star Wars references and some Harry Potter stuff too. So it'll be fun.
Awesome. Okay, who are we? Does anybody have any other happy bucks that they'd like to contribute?
Did we get a report from club services?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
So I got 5 happy bucks. I'm 10, 5 for Ken and 5 for my other half of the family. Eddie came over with his girls on Thursday. So we got a full house, and that's why I'm sitting on the beach.
I think you should just wake them all up.
Yeah, right. You don't do that with little ones.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, who am I turning it over to? Either Ron or Don to introduce our classification talks. Who's taking over?
Well, I can do that.
Okay, go ahead, Don.
And I haven't picked an order, but we have both Connor and Kyle that are going to be doing their classification talks today. So if either of them would like to start, volunteer.
It's hard to do rock, paper, scissors on a video screen.
Yeah, it is.
Go first. I'm not, to be honest, I think Connor has the experience with classification talks, so luckily I don't have to follow him probably. Maybe I should go first. So I can go first. I did some research because I had to figure out what is a classification talk and what's its purpose, because I didn't really understand what the purpose is, but now I do. So a little about me, of course. I'm not sure really. I didn't attend the board meeting last week as it was my son's first birthday. So I ended up spending the day with him, and then my father-in-law came over to just a little small get together for his birthday, and he ate some cake. So that was more important, unfortunately, than showing up to the board meeting, because family for me is important. So a little about me. Like I said, I'm not sure what they shared at the board meeting, but I'm from Marysville, Washington. I'm a triplet. I actually came into teaching more because of my wife, who is a teacher here, as well as my sister-in-law that's also a teacher in this district. Prior to teaching, I actually was in law enforcement, and then before that, I was trying to get in law enforcement. I'm sure Chief Dyer probably knows all about this, but it's a long process to get on as police officer. I think it took me, about 7 years to get on, and part of that was because of the education experience that I had was lackluster. I basically attended a little bit of community college right after high school. Didn't really decide to go to 4-year because I was unsure of what I wanted to do. And what I ended up deciding to do when I met my wife was, maybe I need to go to college, because if I want to get on as police officer, if I get a little bit more background in education, it'll kind of give me that step ahead, which phenomenally it did. Actually, within the second year of being in college at Washington State University, I ended up getting hired on with Yakima Police Department. So it actually made a huge impact in regards to what I'm doing now. And actually, since then, I got my bachelor's in criminal justice from Washington State. I ended up going on and getting my master's at ASU that year afterwards in emergency management. During that time, I actually met Chief Rasmussen. He was actually one of the EMT instructors at Everett Community College. So I'm not sure if he remembers me, but that was back in 2016. So I do remember him. So that was actually nice to see a familiar face in here as well as part of the Rotary Club. And then from there, I ended up getting on with Arlington. Arlington, I worked there for about 6 months, got injured on the job, and then didn't actually make it through probation. So it was either I continued to go on, which the position I was going to go on next was to work at Central Washington University, or I go into education. And I decided, based on some soul searching and talking with my wife, that my whole goal was actually to be a school resource officer. That was my one thing I wanted to do as a police officer. So it just made sense, if that's what I want to do and work with kids, I might as well go into education. So I ended up getting on as a paraeducator working in the life skills at Mount Pilchuck Elementary. And to tell you what I did is I basically walked in the interview looking like I was going to an oral board for a police department. The first thing they said is, wow, I think you're overqualified for the job just by looking at me and what I was wearing. So that kind of tells you kind of how I look at any job that I have, is that, dress for success, dress for what you want. And always put your heart and soul in everything that you do. And that's what led me into becoming a teacher in Lake Stevens. I was able to use that criminal justice background, though, luckily, to actually transfer into the behavior special ed teacher for the intermediate position over at Glenwood. And then luckily here, I got transferred over to the middle school to continue on with the students. And it's been wonderful. I would have to say one of the things I would have to, when I talk to my wife and my other teacher friends, they said, that's gotta be a hard position. I always want to tell them, well, to be honest, I think what you guys are doing is, if not harder. I said, these kids challenge me every day, but I said, the one thing I love about my job is that something's different every day. There's always a different issue that I'm working with, and there's something that I'm always able to work with the most on. I always tell my students when they come in every day, I said, you can call me any name under the sun, but when you get home, remember, your parents are your parents and you got to take care of them. Because a lot of these kiddos tend to go home and they take out their feelings on their parents as well. And I'm trying to prevent that and work on their social skills, as well as turn them into good citizens as they grow up, as well as being successful and figuring out what career path they want. So that's one of the main focus I have, is what do they want to do when they grow up. And on top of that, what else about me as well is I actually do a lot of emergency management on the side as well. I actually do a lot with Randy Solari, updating emergency plans through our rapid responder, and doing research on policies and procedures to make sure that we're interoperable between departments and school districts, that we're all within the same communication standards. And then that's kind of just me in a nutshell. And then right now I'm actually looking at getting my educational doctorate degree in leadership from Liberty right now. I'm in the process of getting accepted as we speak.
Thanks, Kyle. Go Cougars.
Thank you.
Just wanted to throw that out there.
So Kyle, what do you do for fun?
I golf, not the best golfer, but I like to golf. And my wife and I go on lots of drives. We tend to go over to Sun Kitty a lot and go on lots of walks, and we'll walk in the snow because our kids love the snow. So that's what we do most of the time.
Good spot.
How many kids do you have?
I have 2 kids. I have a 3.5-year-old that's about to turn 4, or actually not 3.5. She's about to turn 4, and then my son that's 1.
Awesome.
Hey, Kyle, if you change your mind, we're hiring.
My cert, I think my official cert expires here on the 21st of October without I would have to go through an equivalence academy, but I think I actually like what I'm doing now. But thank you. But, you know, volunteering, I love volunteering. So that's one of the things I do love to do. So.
Great. Well, Connor, are you around?
Yeah, so I think now that I speak, I'm going to come back or shift up to the top for y'all. So yeah, my name's Connor Davis. Grew up in the Sunshine City in the Sunshine State, St. Petersburg, Florida. And actually, I started getting involved in community service through Interact in high school. And through Interact, my passion became, and really the club's passion was service projects with Habitat for Humanity of Pinellas County. Habitat at that time was probably building 10 to 15 homes a year, which is pretty considerable for a Habitat affiliate, but it kept us really busy, and I loved it. That's how I got all my community service hours for college. But then that volunteering with them a couple weekends out of the month continued through college at St. Pete College and then University of South Florida in St. Pete. But through that, housing policy became really important to me. Dealing with specifically affordable housing policy, and that got me involved with local politics at the city level, then the county level, and then those people that I was working for at the city level, they're running for statewide office. And then I start working more and more, getting involved in the legislative side. That then led to national politics, which I continued through the 2010, working in Washington, D.C. But that was a really challenging time. I worked for a member of Congress on the legislative side who was on the energy and healthcare subcommittee. They were the original draftors of what wound up becoming the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. That was a remarkably challenging time for all of us. It was a caustic and toxic time to be in DC and back home. And needless to say, I just became just made and cynical. Really tired of the ineffectiveness in DC. And I said, well, at the end of the day, this isn't what got me involved. So I went back to my roots. Talking to wife, I said, hey, you know what? I'm throwing in the towel. I'm done. My impact is going to be made on the community level. And so I came back to St. Pete, well, full time at least, and went to go and work for Habitat for Humanity of Pinellas County. By that time, the affiliate was building 30 houses a year. And it continued to grow and grow and grow. By the time I left, actually, they were building 55, 60 homes. Now they're building upwards of 70 homes a year. They're the second largest home builder in Pinellas County, Florida. Single family home builder in Pinellas County, Florida. Pinellas County is one of the most densely populated, or is the most densely populated county in the Southeast United States. So there isn't a lot of room to build, which, so being the second largest home builder, it's not a big deal, but it's still really, really cool. So my wife is a teacher here in the district, and as somebody who's been really supportive of my career choices over the years, even though working in politics takes a big stream. It's a strain on a relationship. You're gone a lot, and we wanted to start a family, and at the same time, I was still trying to determine what my passion was. As a recovering recovering education major and political science major, double major, I always wanted to be in the classroom. I started taking days off of work to go and substitute teach at the middle school and high school level. That was a passion of mine, but we just couldn't put two and two together with both of us teaching in Florida. It wasn't going to work for us. But that was where my passion was. Continued to work for Habitat before taking on a dream job at St. Petersburg College. Again, working back in policy. working to get kids that, basically first generation college students that came through what was called the Doorways program in Pinellas County. These are kids that are in foster care. They have every challenge imaginable in their way to realize the dream of college graduation. And working with that program was awesome. Still taking days off to substitute teach. And my wife and I, after Hurricane Irma in 2017 was Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Maria. 2 hurricanes in 1 year. My wife, after we got our power back on and we got everything cleaned up, she said that she was ready to move. We were tired of it. And we have a lot of family in the Northwest. We had talked about moving out here many times before. So on her birthday, I said, all right, let's move. And at the same time, I'm going to become a teacher. So then I did what I knew to do. By January and February, I was sending out packages and cold calling principals and administrators throughout Snohomish and Skagit County. We knew that this is the region that we wanted to be in. One of the first people to call me back was Dan Alderson over at Lake Stevens High School. And then Will Kahn called me back. But I was talking to administrators up in Concrete and Sultan, all over the place. And I flew out here in March of 2018, thinking this is the way that you do it. You just go and you basically knock on doors and you introduce yourself. It's a relationship. The first person to meet with me out here was Will Kahn at North Lake Middle School. 9 o'clock in the morning, we got together. I landed at 2:30 that morning from Florida. Got some coffee at the little espresso place next to Norm's. Got a double shot and headed in to meet with Will. And he basically said, "You've got no credentials. I'd love to hire you at some point. You seem like got a good head on your shoulders, but you got to go through the steps." So I fly back to Florida, enroll in the certification process, and we then sell our home in June. We spent 5 weeks driving out to Washington. The week after we arrived here, in the middle of July, I started a program through City University of Seattle, and get my teaching certification, or eventually get the certification. I did my student teaching at LSMS, and there was a social studies position that opened up here at Northlake. And lo and behold, after this process that at this point had been going on for about a little over a year and a half, sitting in an interview with Will Kahn and Brad Abels, and I now teach at Northlake Middle School. My wife, I've got, since I'm used to being able to share my screen with students, so I can't do that. But this is my wife, Mrs. Davis. She teaches at Mount Pilchuck Elementary, and my son, Nathaniel, who is super excited. He's back at school as of Tuesday. He's a first grader at Mount Pilchuck Elementary. And this is the one who is kind of grumbling because he can't wait to get back into the classroom. He's in 3rd grade at Mount Pilchuck. So we're just telling him, dude, just hold tight. You got another week and a half until you're back in. So, just to tie it back, Interact was something that was really important for me. I kind of owe so much of what I have eventually done in life to my time with Interact. Getting involved with Habitat for Humanity, that was my jam. Then it led to housing policy. Then it came back to me working with Habitat. Knowing that at the end of the day, the biggest impact that we can make, knowing what it's like to work at the state level, at the national level, the biggest impact that you can make is here at home. Moved here 2.5 years ago. And I was kind of kicked myself for not getting involved with the Rotary Club as soon as I should have. I loved my Rotary Club back in Florida. I was deeply passionate about what I did, and I'm just glad to be a part of it here. Look forward to hitting the ground running with y'all. And that's it for me.
Connor, that's no pressure on me, right, with Interact?
Hey, it might be subtle, and you might not have a student that follows up in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Cindy Katzenberg was like our mentor, the equivalent of you at St. Petersburg High School. I haven't talked to her in 10 years. It was actually the last time I saw her was my wedding. She was there for our wedding when my wife and I got married. But know that that doesn't matter. That impact lasts for a long time. Yeah.
You should reach back out to her.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have one of our former presidents who did go to the Dominican Republic 3 years ago. She is at PLU right now, and she's pursuing a career working with Spanish language, which is cool. But also she, she's very involved, and she's interested in Rotaract. So it is kind of cool to see planting little seeds.
That's right. That's what it's all about.
My interest in Rotary started when I was in high school as well. A guy named Ron Doan reached out to me and asked me to be the Rotary Club rep to the high school, and that was when it started. Pretty awesome.
And I was Key Club president, so I'm a Kiwanis, sorry.
You joined Rotary, so that works.
I'm glad you saw the light.
Just don't tell the acting sergeant at arms.
Well, I just want to thank both of our new members. Being educators, talking about planting seeds and the roads that you guys took to become educators, really impressive. So thank you very much for what you do and joining our club.
So actually, one note. I work in a profession where I have an excuse to buy really sweet wooden swords. So I just got back from Florida. I was attending to a family member's passing, but I saw this, and when the kids come back in class, we're going to be spending a lot of time outside, and I do a lot of reenactments in our class. But I've always had like cardboard cutouts from Amazon boxes for swords and shields. So I saw that, and it's like, babe, my wife was like, babe, it's part of my job now. So little does she know that there's a wooden shield.
Well, I don't know. It might be made out of wood, but that thing looks like it means business.
Yeah.
It does. My youngest son now knows that all too well after he and my oldest started getting into it.
Getting into it, but that, seriously?
Yeah, one's got a little shine around the side of his head now. So,
that's why it's
so Kyle, you might want to go check out that classroom and make sure everything's on the up and up.
Yeah, a couple of my students actually have him. Maybe I'll have to do the reenactment with him.
The ones old enough in here that remember hack boards, that looks like an old hack board one of my teachers had. So I knew it intimately. So
it's
holes in it, right?
Cuban mahogany. Actually, it's a piece of wood too.
Looks like the size of paddles that our coaches used to carry.
Well,
principle.
I think that's going to come in handy for Aquafest if we can get back into the pirate realm next summer after.
Look at the mayor's sword.
Boy.
So Connor, if you invite me to come in and talk to your class, I'll bring my, when you retire from the SWAT team, this is what you get. A Spartan Xiphos sword.
Wow. Yeah. That's awesome. All right, and that's one of the big reenactments that we do. We do the battle from the First Persian War. We do the Battle of Thermopylae, followed by the Battle of Marathon.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Very
that
cool.
would fit in perfectly.
I could even bring in my my Morky, my little puppy. His name is Xiphos. So he's a warrior.
Makes me want to go back to social studies class.
No, it doesn't.
Everybody loves the story of the 300. Come on. All right. Any questions? I just want to know, Connor, I just want to know one thing. Do you have any inklings of missing Florida when it's winter in the Pacific Northwest?
Oh, yeah. So we fly back to Florida every Christmas for the last 3 years. And every time that we're there, we're like, what the hell are we doing? You know, like the house in Florida, you know, it's like a tropical paradise in the backyard. We do, but you know, it's like, this is home. We really do love it. People complain about the winters here. It's really not that bad. Through work, I lived in the Midwest as well. You want to talk about winters? Try living in the Northeast, in the Midwest.
Oh yeah.
We deal with kind of crappy weather for a few months, but then the trade-off is really, you know, a solid 8 or 9 months of pretty damn good weather. So darn good weather. Sorry.
Before we go, Brian, if you ever have any questions, give me a holler.
Will do.
Yeah, and thanks again for joining us today, Brian.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Connor or Kyle today?
Well, I got a question. Just curious, Connor, you mentioned this. I think Kyle brought it up a little bit too, but you know, drawing a circle around the Lake Stevens area, what drew you to Snohomish County specifically, or other than maybe family or the likes of that?
I mean, I know for me, my wife, her sister, my sister-in-law lives in Southwest Lake Stevens. My brother lives in, well, now he's in Victoria, British Columbia. I have a sister in Bellingham. We knew that we wanted to be in this region. Honestly, it was, there was going to be proximity to my sister-in-law and the 5 cousins, but you know, the fact that Dan Alderson and Will Kahn reached out, that kind of started to hone in on where our search was. And when my wife was looking for a job, it was Dave Bartlow, who was a teacher at Skyline at the time.
Principal.
The principal at Skyline, yeah. He hired her over a Zoom call while she was sitting in our house in Florida years ago. So, but by that time we had kind of focused in just by virtue of the relationship that we had and built with some of the administrators out here. After we flew out in March, or after I flew out in March, my wife and I then flew out at the beginning of April so that she could essentially go and knock on some doors. And it was wild how of all the districts around here, Lake Stevens, the administrators at least, were the most responsive and communicative with us. I mean, and I'm talking about like driving out to Sultan several times to try and open up the line of communication, and there just wasn't any. But here in Lake Stevens, there was. So yeah, it's kind of destined. Now we live right here in Northeast Lake Stevens. I work 4 blocks away. My wife works at the end of the block at Mount Pilchuck. So it's pretty awesome.
Well, you did pick a very, very good district to go to work at. Both of you did.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, I got lucky. I didn't have to apply too often, as Connor had to say, because I ended up getting on as a para, which is, I always suggest that if you're not teaching yet, it really gives you that kind of background to also see what paraeducators have to do, because they have a ton of work. I think some people kind of underappreciate what they do, but they do a lot of work. So being able to do that and then applying in to be the teacher of record over at Glenwood was a great opportunity that I was able to take and build upon my experience. I got lucky on that end. But yeah, Lake Stevens is amazing. When I was younger, everyone, there was a rivalry in school, but Lake Stevens, everyone wanted to live in Lake Stevens. Even I have friends today that they've all moved to Lake Stevens that were from Marysville. Lake Stevens is just kind of the place to be, really, in Snohomish County, I think, at least in my perspective. And it really is a truly great district. And when you look at other schools throughout the city and the county, even compared to Everett, I think there's just a different camaraderie at Lake Stevens, I've noticed, compared to other places. So we're really lucky out here. So.
Well, when I was in human resources, I called that the George Jefferson effect. Everybody was moving on up.
To the east side.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Ken, I think a hope here is Kyle's still trying to make all the kids good kids, and I think that will probably help influence every single one of us to maybe be a good kid one day.
Yep.
That's my hope. Yep.
Yeah, John was pretty good at it. So.
Especially when some of us grow up.
Exactly.
Well, there's so many
Go.
school district employees on here. We have to rethink our meetings once we go back to hybrid or face-to-face. So we'll have to think about that.
Yeah.
And we are. That's was a major topic of our discussion in our last board meeting. Certainly, we've talked to Connor about his experiences when he was in Florida, being able to access Rotary in different ways, not just tied to a 7:30 Friday meeting. And we've talked about Lake Stevens School District being the largest employer in the city, that we need to have our really quality people like Connor and Kyle and Kristen and Gina, and I'm going to leave myself out of the quality part, but really, you know, tap into that resource because of the pipeline to students, the pipeline to the community. I mean, it just makes sense. And so Keith and Ron are going to start working on what it looks like to have remote capability, streaming capability, and the capability to have a different kind of Rotary membership. So anything you want to say about that, Gary?
Yeah, I mean, Rotary International allows for these type of different memberships, such as an e-club membership, as long as whatever you do, you put it in the bylaws. And that's what I'm trying to help Keith and Ron, since they're both working, trying to get as much information from other clubs in the district that I can get and share with them so that when they focus on it, maybe using Connor and Kyle as help to get through this and see where we're going to go from there.
Yeah, and as much as we want to come back to in person, I don't think we can leave our experience behind that we've had in distance, and we need to take what we've learned with us and make it better. So that's what we plan to do.
Right.
Anything else for the good of the order today? Don't forget to pay your fines through Venmo. I'm going to do that right away, and I hope everybody has a great weekend. And we're approaching March, and we're somebody said it. I'm hoping that we're bubbling out of this pandemic and starting to get to see a little bit more normalcy. So it's exciting. And I just want to wish everybody a happy weekend. So go forth and enjoy.
All right. Thanks.
Take care, everybody.
Aloha.
Sun is coming up in Hawaii.
Yeah, it is. Starting to brighten up.
Oh,
I take care, everyone.
My wife wanted me to go to Hawaii for spring break, and I said, I can't, honey, because if I went to Hawaii, I'd have to quarantine when I come back, and I can't do that.
Maybe there was a method to that idea.
Yeah, now she's probably going to go without me.
Well, then you'd have a forced break and recharge, and
yeah,
cool.
And thank you so much for that beautiful card. It was so nice to see your family. And
you bet.
And there was a teaser, okay?
All right. Take care, everyone.
Yep.
Take care.
You too.